For daily ask Reddit, teachers of Reddit, what was your ODUC? That's impressive, but I still have to punish the kid moment. First 6 months of teaching. Grade 8 English. Kid did a 360 on one leg of his chair. I was impressed, but gave him a timeout because it was dangerous. Part of the requirement for timeout was that students identify what got them sent out in the first place. I did a mad 360 on my chair, but Miss said it wasn't safe. I've still got that timeout sheet on my desk 2.5 years later. Yes, Ethan, it was a mad 360, but it was still dangerous. I can't remember the question that was asked of my niece, about 6 at the time, but she stood up in the class and said Sister Bernadette's a bitch, sister as in a nun. The teacher told my sister, normal sister, not a nun, that whilst she couldn't condone the behavior, Sister Bernadette was in fact a total bitch. They had a good laugh about it. Not a teacher, but I work in it in a big school. Guy came in asking us if we could put his PDFs in the right order. It was a bunch of comic book artwork that was part of his A-level art project. So we slotted all the pages into a nice PDF, and he promptly went off and printed several hundred copies to sell to his mates. We pulled him as he was by far the biggest print user for the day, and he got some shit for it. Last I heard of him, he was demoing his comics at a festival in Germany and doing rather well. Not me, but my mom had to punish a kid who hacked into his teacher's email as an April Fool's pranks and told all of her students to bring a jar of peanut butter to class the next day. Apparently, a bunch of these kids didn't even have peanut butter in their house and had to go and buy it. My mom was very reluctant to punish him, but parents were so furious that she ended up giving him a few detentions. I know that she made sure to tell him how funny she thought the whole thing was. However, the first time I caught students cheating, it was 2 8th grade girls that had all of the same wrong answers on a vocabulary matching test. I pulled the girls aside after class to ask about it, and after some sheepish grins they both admitted that a third girl, their friend who was an A+ student, had fed them both incorrect answers on purpose. She screwed over her friends because she was pissed they were mooching. For punishment, the first 2 girls got to keep their very poor test grades. The mastermind got your friend's arm at you as her punishment. Natural consequences. I had a classmate jump on the teacher's computer and visit a website that would go full screen and make it seem like it was a Mac now instead of a PC. It was April Fool's Day and this was his prank. This was in like 2003, so security wasn't the conversation it is today. Anyway, he still got in trouble. The teacher got really angry and kind of yelled at him to sit down in the corner. She called in the vice principal, then the principal, then the on-campus police office, and then when he was good and terrified, all 4 turned to him and said April Fools and let him off the hook. He got his punishment though. He was terrified. My husband used to work in after-school care. One time he saw 2 kids starting to fight in the sandpit. He headed over to try to calm them down, but while he was on his way, one kid ran at the other, who just calmly flipped the first kid over his head like a textbook martial arts move. My husband said he had to stop himself from shouting back, quote, "Wow, great job." Back in the day, my friend found an exploit in the school laptops that allowed him administrator access. It was pretty clever. He brought it up to it. Problem was it was very obscure and no one would have been looking for such an exploit unless they wanted to bypass the school's security. So he got suspended.